Well, first of all, let me just say welcome. It's great to have everybody here on a Saturday morning. I know that you could be doing a lot of other different things, but just to carve a little bit of time out of your schedule on a Saturday for meditation, I think is probably one of the most beneficial things that anybody could do, is to take that time and to settle the mind and to get in touch with your inner resources. It can bring some pretty massive benefits, and I'm speaking from experience. I'd just like to start off with a quote by Osho, who was somebody that I sort of researched probably for about 20 years now. And I've spent time at the Osho meditation resort in Pune a number of times, and my past trip as well. And I have a lot of friends in the Osho meditation resort, teachers who have been there for 25, 30 years, and I respect them a lot because they've dedicated their lives to that particular way in spreading the message of what meditation can do. Awareness is the greatest alchemy there is. Just go on becoming more and more aware. And you will find your life changing for the better in every possible dimension. It will bring great fulfillment. So let's start this meditation off with the awareness of what meditation can do, and take a few moments just to do some breath awareness meditation. So you can sit in any position that you want, cross-legged. You can sit with your legs stretched out. You can sit with your back against the wall. If you want to grab a chair, if that's more comfortable for you, go ahead. Just maybe sit at the back or away from where other people are behind you if they're sitting on the ground. But just make yourself comfortable. Keep your back straight. We want to keep the air passage all the way from the in channel, the nose, all the way in down to the lungs, and then all the way down to the lower stomach area known as the dantian, or the hara. These are Oriental terms that have been known for thousands of years, right down to the lower stomach area. And you want to draw that breath down there to that deep area, that deep center. And just put your awareness on the breathing process, the inhalation, the exhalation, and as well the gaps in between the inhalation and the exhalation. So the golden sunshine meditation is when you breathe in, you visualize like a strong golden sunshine coming in through the top of your head. It can also come in through your heart as well. And it moves from this area of the upper body and moves down all the way down to the bottoms of the feet, so it fills you up. This is all on the breath in, so you're not breathing in quickly. You're breathing in slowly as you visualize this process, and deeply. When you breathe out, what you're going to do is then go to the other polarity, and you're going to imagine a dark river coming in from the bottom of your feet. Okay? This is the yin energy, and it comes in like a river, and it's soothing. It's the feminine energy, and it comes up to the top of the head. Okay? So it's going to be letting the sunshine come down and letting the river come in. Okay. So go ahead, this one you're going to lay on the floor, and your legs are going to be outstretched. And this is what meditation is all about. It's realizing what you already have, not necessarily getting more. It's taking away what you don't need and letting what you have shine through. So I'd like to go on to another meditation now, and this one falls under the line of what we call distance intentionality meditations. Okay? Distance intentionality meditations are meditations that you can do for other people. They come from all different walks of life, from different faiths. When I did a lot of work with the Ojibwe Indian through sweat lodges and healing circles, we did a lot of distance intentionality meditation right in the sweat lodge. while the ceremony was taking place. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to meditate, and as we breathe in, what you're going to do is you're going to think of a person. Now that person could be you too, if you have something that's going on with you where you're suffering or you're in pain or in some sort of turmoil in your life. Or it could be somebody that you know of. It doesn't have to be somebody that you know of intimately. It could be somebody that you know of even through the TV. It could be somebody in another country that's suffering, that you've heard about. But the idea of it is opening your heart up to them as you breathe. Okay? In my book, Memoirs of a Wandering Ninja, I put in a lot of studies in regards to when you meditate and you put your mind on something, how that vibration, and more people that actually meditate on it, how that vibration actually does affect. It has an effect at a distance. There are tons of studies going on now, right now, scientific studies on this very thing in different communities of meditation. And the reason is because at a level that we are not aware of through our senses, our main 5 senses, there is a connection between all of us. And when you go inward and you meditate, you are in tune with that connection. But you got to get past your mind stuff. You got to get past the stuff that wants to create the individuality all the time. There's nothing wrong with being an individual. It's a good thing. But when it's to the point where we're so separated from everybody else and we lack compassion for others, then it's to the extreme. Any observations or comments?
I just seem to, when I try this kind of a meditation, it just seems when I start to focus like I did in this particular case, really trying to envelop it, I also get a reverse kind of like I start to feel also good as well. Too as well. So it seems to work both ways, Terry. And I'm just scratching the surface of that.
Yeah.
But that's just my observation right now.
Thank you.
There's so many people to choose from, as you know. It's just like, okay, which direction do you go? So I was going from place to place because I know several people that are in going through challenges. So I didn't know if that was...
Yeah, you can keep them all in mind. Just sort of see them for what they're going through and keep them all in mind.
That's what I try to do.
Yeah. This is hinging, and we're going to do the meditation I'm talking about next, but this is hinging on a Tibetan Buddhist meditation called the Tonglen Meditation.
Tonglen?
That's it.
And in that particular meditation, which is age-old, which you do basically the same thing, but only when you breathe in, you take the suffering and the pain, and you actually breathe it into your own body. And what happens is when your compassion is so strong, when your heart center is so strong, you literally convert it at that point. It's like going through a conversion process on the breath in, and on the breath out, the compassion changes the energy of suffering and pain and healing and light and love, well-beingness. And when you reach deep down inside your own heart where the compassion and the love exists, and you take that pain and that suffering that you experience from the individual that you're thinking of or individuals, and you let it go through the heart center and transmutate and refine then into that love and that pure compassion, then you send out that vibration. So, this is the next step. You and yourself are the alchemy. You have the ability to change yourself and energy that moves through you. So go ahead and whatever position you want to assume, Same idea, only now as you breathe in that suffering and that pain of the individual that you have in mind. And then as you breathe out, let your heart center, your compassionate center, your love imbue, transform, change as you breathe into that other person. Any observations, comments?
Really powerful. I found when I got into the person's pain, I couldn't contain my tears. And then when I got into the compassion that was so strong, I felt the healing take place for not only the person but myself as well. You know, it was kind of all intertwined.
Definitely.
And the more I did that cycle of pain to compassion, every time I went to the pain, it was less pain.
Right.
And I couldn't go back to the strength of the pain the first time.
Right.
After that, it was awesome.
It had changed.
It was.
Yeah. Over here, we tend to do more worrying, stressed out on all the things that, you know, and my mother, bless her heart, she's hopefully probably going to watch us at some point, but she is a worry wart. If there's something that's going on that's troublesome, her main thing is to think about it and worry about it. Think about it and worry about it. Get stressed out. Think about it, stressed out, worry about it. Stressed out, think about it, worry about it. Until she works her way into a frenzy.
Yeah.
And what does that energy do? Does it change anything?
It's like blocks.
If anything, it creates more tension. It creates more of the same. This is a beautiful meditation where if there's going to be any help that is administered in a way that is healthy, this is it. So we can grow up, and I know I did in my family, and we grew up with these assumptions that when something's wrong, we need to worry about it. We need to get all, you know, upset, and because somehow we've got it in the back of our mind that is going to change. That's going to change things, or it's going to help in some way because we're powerless to do anything. So, you know, let's become the same sort of energy vibration, and you know, and that's not true. The greatest good that we can do is change it into love and hold that person in the brightest light. Extend our love and extend our compassion to them. What I can do is, what I do for certain people is, like James was talking about getting together a group for meditation, and if it's a private type group, then I can reproduce any type of meditation.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I mean.
yeah, no problem. Like that I can do. So if somebody says, you know, let's do a special time and stuff like that, I'll bring a group of people and, you know, can you do these set of meditations or whatever. Yeah, no problem. The reason I tend to vary the meditations on these particular morning meditation days is because I really want you to see the diversity of types of meditations that are out there. When I started meditating way back when I was taking martial arts as a teenager, there was only one meditation, and it was called Sit Down, Shut Up, and Breathe. That's what it was called. That's what my instructor said. I said, what are we going to do now?
He told me to sit down, shut up, don't move.
Yeah, along the same lines.
That was it.
Bob?
I think that was Bob,
told me.
Sit down, shut up, don't move.
Yeah, it was basically the whole system, right? That's how we learned it. But that's what it was, and there was no instruction, there was no interpretation, there was no, it was just, you know, well, what are we going to do now? Well, you're going to sit down, you're going to shut up, and don't move, breathe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so that was how I learned meditation in the beginning, and did it for quite some time that way. I don't know what happened along my way, but I had some very unique experiences, especially when we had to land up in Brighton. And I remember some meditation experiences, and then being in a natural environment, I just remember having these awakening experiences, Kensho-like experiences, where it started to change my reality in the way that I perceive things. And I, at that point, started taking on the emphasis of experimenting on my own without any instruction, different ways of doing meditation. And the way I did that is very much like my Wandering Ninja series with the meditations that I created, where because I was having challenges at home with my family, I was able to take certain concepts from nature, like an eagle flying high, and I could become in the meditation that eagle. And so my father, who was always in my face as a kid, and loved being in my face, you know, if he could create aggravation, boy, did he ever feel good doing that. You know, that was his sort of, when he was drunk, that was kind of his mission in life. The more aggravation he could create from his family, from the people that were close to him, then the better he felt for whatever reason. Probably because misery loves company. But what I learned to do through meditation was I became like that eagle, and instead of being so close to the situation, I was able to fly away and back off from it and look at it from a whole different perspective. And then all of a sudden it wasn't so big. You know, the challenge that was in front of me wasn't so big that I couldn't see anything else. And that's usually what would happen when I'd end up yelling and screaming at my father back, and it'd end up into a huge, you know, screaming and yelling match, and we'd get nowhere except in the lowest of energy vibrations.
You literally rose above it.
Yeah, exactly. And so I took this concept, which I had from these experiences in nature, and I thought, oh, you know, I probably saw a hawk flying over, and it just connected, and it was like there was a teacher there, you know. And a lot of the shaman traditions teach this kind of stuff, that you can have these guides, these animal guides, and I think it just naturally happened without me being even aware of the shamanistic path. And I was taking on these different forms of, you know, whether it was cleansing waterfalls or, you know, the image of a mountain, a stable mountain. And I was able to put them into my meditations and find that they were very useful. They were very resourceful, and that I was able to deal better with my situations happening in my life at that time. And also in my training, my martial arts training, they helped in my martial arts training as well.